É aqui nesse prédio atrás de mim que representantes de mais de 190 países se reúnem para discutir como evitar que os efeitos das mudanças climáticas cheguem a níveis catastróficos. Enquanto a mídia volta seus holofotes para as grandes nações e os maiores emissores, o Vitae Civilis vai focar seus holofotes nas pequenas nações, as menores delegações e na sociedade civil, e trazer a opinião daqueles que serão mais afetados pelos efeitos das mudanças climáticas.
Oxfam is here at the UN Climate Change Conference to make sure that the human impact of climate change is at the forefront of the negotiations. The reason for that is that the most vulnerable people in the world, some of the most poorest people, are already being hit first and fastest by the effects of climate change. It's not just about the environment, it's also about the fact that people are having their escape routes from poverty destroyed by the effects of climate change that are happening right now. And it's down to organisations like Oxfam and many of the other organisations we work with to make sure that we demand a fair and effective post-2012 climate change deal.
What is important about Poznan is that we have to build momentum so that during the next year we get good negotiations and a good outcome in Copenhagen. And that will depend not just on the negotiators or even the government officials, it depends on broader civil society understanding the issues and giving a mandate to their leaders to take the kind of very ambitious and progressive decisions they will need to make. There are two kinds of civil society roles in climate change negotiations. In the developed countries, it is very much a role to push their own governments and leaders to take action on mitigation, on reducing greenhouse gas emissions. In the developing countries, except for some of the large developing countries who have large emissions, it is not so much about mitigation, it is much more about understanding what the impacts of climate change will be and how to deal with those impacts through adaptation. The dream is that people will realize, particularly our leaders will realize how serious this issue is and give it the attention it deserves and the priority it deserves and come up with the solutions that it deserves. The time window is very, very short. We have to agree in the next 1 year. Otherwise, we are all going to be in trouble.
The Fossil of the Day Awards are presented every day after a vote by the different green groups here at the conference to the countries that do the most to obstruct progress in the climate change negotiations.
And the winner is Canada, Japan, and Russia. It's a three-way photo finish for the first fossil here at the fourth awards.
We've had a lot of countries have won fossil awards this year. It's been an unusual mix. Today's first prize went to Russia, Japan, and Canada. Yesterday, the first prize went to the European Union, which is currently essentially deadlocked in its own talks about what its climate change position should be. And the first day, the Fossil of the Day Awards went to Poland, which is hosting this year's negotiations, but again, within the European Union, is trying to get a special exception so that it can keep its dependency on coal, which is one of the dirtiest fuels you can find. By 2020, based on 1990 levels.